I remember when I first started working at the hospital, and I still work at the hospital now. One of the things was I used to always just work and work. I remember one time when I was in my early 20s, I started working, and then I worked one time, 1 month, where I didn't have a whole day off. I was getting overtime, getting money, getting paid, and all that. And I was like, man, I got it great. And then as I got older, I started to realize once I had kids, the importance of just taking a break and having that well rested time. And I think as fathers, a lot of times we really need that break, and we really should encourage each other to have that break. And I always also think that on Sundays, fathers should really take Sundays off. And if it doesn't have to be Sunday, it can be any day of the week. It can be one day of the week that they can have that one day off so that way they can rest. Because the more rest that you get, you're more refreshed. So you always want to be refreshed so that way as a father you can spend time with your kids. And that's really what I want you to do is like so many of y'all work so many different hours. I don't want you to be burned out as a father. And that's really what I want to talk to y'all about. Is like there's hidden pressure that could build up. Sometimes at work, you may be stressed out. It could be sales aren't good. It could be your manager getting on to you. It could be a lot of different things. And the thing is, I want you to know that as a group and a community that we can all work together, but you have to know you got to be open and honest and tell your wife or tell your significant other, hey, you know what? I have some pressures at work and stuff like that. I really need to take some time off. Even your job. I recommend people a lot of times, I would say, I guess it'd be like quarterly, like every 3 months or so, every 4 months, take a break. And I recommend just a weekend, like 4 days, somewhere right around there, 3, 4 days, take a break. And it really gives you just time to kind of energize. And I think a lot of times too, sometimes as men and as fathers, what we do is we numb our pain. It could be a lot of different ways we numb our pain. It doesn't have to just be drugs. Sometimes it can be drugs, and then sometimes it could also just be you drinking. Sometimes I see these guys, and what they do is they sit up every day. They come home and then they start drinking a beer. And I'm like, bro, I mean, why you gotta do that every day? Or why you gotta do that every weekend? And I'm not against drinking and stuff like that. Do I have a drink every now and then? I mean, yeah, but it's probably been months. I really don't drink. But don't always feel like you have to drink something in order to feel like you're trying to get away from this pain from work, your supervisor getting on to you, the work is not done on time, you can't get it done on time, you feel like you need help, but there's nobody there to help you. Always remember, too, either your co parent can be there, your significant other, your mom, your dad can always help you, too, as a father. Because I know that you got a lot of work to do. Then if you're a single father, you got to take care of the kids. That's a lot. And that's what I tell you. And that's the thing is like, you really just don't want to sit there and always numb your pain. Try to reach out to your friends and family for guidance and help. And even me, you could watch my YouTube channel and then I can help you out too. And the roles is that the roles to replace identity. And what I mean by that, sometimes as a father, we don't understand the amount of pressure and different things that we have that's built up inside of us. It's like we got to carry the whole weight of the family. It's like a heavy weight on your shoulders. You got to carry the financial responsibility, emotional responsibility. You got to make sure the car has gas in it. You got to make sure the bills are paid. You have to make sure your kids are ready for work. You have to cook for your kids. You got to clean for your kids. And I think a lot of times we got to take that all into consideration. And that's why I said when replacing the roles, sometimes it's not always about the female that you have. It's not always about who you're married to or who you're in a relationship with. Sometimes it's just saying, you know what, we're going to switch roles today, or I'm going to stay in the role that I am just to try to help out more. Don't be scared to ask your significant other for help because they already know you're stressed out. You might be the general manager, you might be the supervisor, you could actually be the director, and I know you get stressed out from all this kind of work. And that's why I say just ask for help. Sometimes dysfunction feels normal. And I think a lot of times we, as men, we can really say, okay, this is okay, or I think it's all right, but it's dysfunction. You shouldn't be yelling at your kids in the morning, get up and do all that. Just talk to them like a couple times and tell them, you need to get up in the morning, you need to get ready for school. Let them know how important the school is for them to read, write, and arithmetic. And that's one thing you really got to think about as a father, that the dysfunction is not a normal thing for you to sit there and yell at your kids and scream at them and tell them what they're doing is not right and telling them you're not a man and all this kind of stuff, or hit them. Don't do that to your daughters. Just try to talk to them Don't be yelling all the time and arguing in front of your kids. Dysfunction is not normal. And we as fathers and we as men, we should not normalize dysfunction. We really want to be the leaders. We want to set that example. We want to say, we're here to lead our family. We're here to lead our kids. We're here to lead our parents, our grandparents, to help them. And that's why I say, don't normalize dysfunction. And even when no one checks, sometimes as men, we don't feel like anybody checks on us. And I will say, my mom probably checks on me like once a week, once every 2 weeks, something like that. And I'm glad, because sometimes I don't always call her, but she calls me. So it's always good. So sometimes we need that help, and sometimes people can check in on us, and just be open to somebody just checking in with you. And the reason I say this, sometimes we need help and we don't even know we need help. Sometimes we don't even know we're stressed out. But if we get the proper help, we can see that somebody actually does care about us. And we as men should be open because of all the pressures and stress from work. And those things are so important, because I remember, like, even when I was married, it was so stressful at work. And I thought work was so stressful. But then I started realizing that actually work is not that stressful. The person I married to was just unhappy. But not to say that work is not. There are certain times I would do something wrong, something wasn't right, and I had to correct it, or I got to write up. And you learn through these growing pains. You learn how to send emails. You learn how to communicate with your supervisor. You learn how to communicate with your other employees that are with you, your co-workers, and you learn how to communicate. And that's something I really thank God for, is to having a job like that, working in corporate America. I've learned how to communicate and be a better communicator and be a better father and be a better dad. And that's, I really just want y'all to really grasp that and understand that, because I know what it's like to be under a tremendous amount of stress, and then you're married to somebody who's unhappy. And as men, sometimes we feel like we can't talk about these things. But I know people are going through those types of things, because I went through that. And that's the thing. It's sometimes it can be so stressful at work that we feel like we have nobody else to turn to. And then what you also want to do too is, like, rest your fear. Let it rest. If you have fear about certain things, sometimes you need to take that break. Sometimes you need to lay down. Sometimes you just need a break where you just have to sit down and say, I want to sit down and walk outside. Like me, I love recording videos and taking a walk to really be out in nature and just experience the fresh air. Thank God for a lot of things around me. Thank God for the nature. Thank God for the dogs. They got possums out here. Just have that rest that you need. One of the things I always do too is when I get home, I always just get something to eat and I grab something to drink, and I just rest for like an hour. I don't even watch TV. I just rest. I might watch a little bit of YouTube, and I just think to myself, I'm thankful to be alive. I'm thankful to just breathe air. I'm thankful for all the different things that God has just given me. And also, I just want to tell you that no matter what rest is something that you need. I want you to be able to rest as a man and reset. What I mean by that is sometimes we need to take that break. And that break could be a month long, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, or it could just be a weekend. We all need to reset. And I remember they did this research study about this. And they said going out in nature for about a week to 10 days really resets your body and your biological clock, the way you wake up. And it's just your whole body is refreshing. I got to get to that. Me and my friend been talking about going camping together. And that's something I think that we really got to do. Sometimes just go to a place, whether it's a ranch or a resort, somewhere outdoors. And maybe you might be a camper. Just do that. So this way that you can get the proper rest that you need. And I just want to encourage y'all to be the best fathers that you can. And that's really what I want y'all to do. Don't always stress about work. I know work is stressful. I know you're going through a lot. But just know that I'm here for you, and that I really want everybody and all the fathers that listen to my content, make sure you're taking care of your mental health to take the needed breaks that you need. Even if you feel like you don't, just take one day off. I took a day off the other day for my kids. One graduated from the 5th grade. The other one graduated from kindergarten. And I just took the day off. And I was talking to their mom, and she was like, why don't you just take them home? I said, no, I'm not going to take them home. We had the soccer game last weekend. So I wanted to take a break. And I went back to my mom's house because it was in the area. And then I laid down for a while and slept. And then my son had another soccer game that night. So it's Daddy need a break. So sometimes you feel like you need a break, just request off. Take off for one day. Take off for a couple days. Some days you might want to just do what they call a staycation, where you just stay in town and go to different places that you never seen before. Sometimes as men, we just need that. So I just want y'all to be the best person that you can. Make sure that you're getting the proper rest. Make sure you're taking off work on time. Make sure that you're just taking time away. And remember, we got to share this content with all the fathers. It's your boy, Chris. Peace. I'm out.